Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. I'm really excited to speak to you all tonight. Can you just do a quick mic check? Can you put a plus in the chat if you can see me? Can you hear me okay? And then we'll get kicked off. I just want to make sure it's all working. I can see loads of people in the chat already, actually, so that's awesome. I'm seeing astrophysics, Chinwei's here, not 13's here, Alo's here, Matthew's here. Okay, awesome, guys. Thank you so much for working with me. It is so much more fun when you guys interact in the chat. It makes it better for both of us, so thank you very much. So, you're all clearly amazing parents because you've turned up to listen to me for an hour. But why are we actually here? What are we going to do today? I am going to reveal MyEdSpace's unique 4-step system that is designed to turn any student into a confident learner and ultimately achieve academic success. It's worked for people like Nazish. He says you will not be disappointed. His daughter felt so much more confident and started flourishing in her mocks for her GCSEs. It's worked for people like Safia, who had a huge weight off her shoulders, she says, knowing that my children are receiving such high quality education at home. Ultimately, I want you all to be proud parents, just like Glenn. He says he's so proud of his daughter's achievement and her end of year reports were absolutely fantastic. All this is to say is that a great education can truly, truly be life-changing. You hear it from students just like Howard all the time on MyEdSpace, and I want all of you to feel like that by the end of today. I know some of you in the chat are probably thinking, but he's probably handpicked those reviews from Trustpilot. And so there is a very, very useful feature now on Trustpilot that is a summary by them of all 1,729 of our excellent 5-star rated reviews. And I'll just read it out for you. Reviewers overwhelmingly had a great experience with this company. Customers highlight the platform's positive impact on students' grades and their understanding of the curriculum. They also appreciate the helpfulness and the expertise of the teachers, who are seen as supportive and engaging. Consumers feel that the courses are well structured and provide excellent value for money with affordable pricing for quality education. People also commend the company's ethics and the solutions it provides for home education or extra support alongside school. The staff receives high praise for their warmth, professionalism, and dedication to helping students succeed, and reviewers strongly recommend the platform to others, emphasizing its positive influence on students' academic progress and overall learning experience. That is Trustpilot's review of MyEdSpace, right? It is a summary, so I haven't handpicked anything, so there you have it, guys. But with all that said, let's get to know each other a little bit. Let's have some fun in the chat. Can you just tell me in the chat what city you're from and what year group is your child in? I just want to see who we've got in the chat tonight. So what city are you from and what year group is your child in? Alo is saying, wow, that's impressive, 4.8 with so many reviews. Yeah, Alo, like we're really, really proud of our Trustpilot. We've been working so hard to provide an incredible value proposition for our customers. We really care about our customers and it's reflected in our Trustpilot. Well, I'm seeing a lot from London, Manchester, Ibrahim's from Manchester, London, Coventry, Leicester, Slough. I used to go ice skating in Slough as a kid, so there you go. Surrey, Sheffield. I'm from Camden, London, Sheffield, Corby. Sheffield, there's a lot of Sheffield in the chat tonight as well. I'm just seeing Brum. I'm not allowed to do the Birmingham accent, unfortunately. My team always say that I absolutely butcher it, so I won't do it. Nicola's from Hertfordshire, Charmaine's from London, Solihull, Anil's from Harrow. Oh, very cool, very cool. Very close to my home. I grew up in northwest London, so yeah. Stevenage, Hertfordshire, Loughborough. Okay, guys, we've basically got the whole of the UK in the chat, which is so awesome to see. And I'm seeing a load of different year groups as well, which is awesome. You're all in the right place. So with that said, you've told me a little bit about you. I should probably do the same and tell you a little bit about me. So hi everybody, my name is Sean. I'm the co-founder of MyEdSpace. I guess taking it from the very start, right? I told some of you I grew up in northwest London. That's where I did my A-levels. I managed to get 3 A stars and 2 A's in my A-levels and my APQ. Then I went on to study economics at the London School of Economics, or the LSE. Then after graduating, I went into investment banking. I did that at JP Morgan, the largest investment bank in the world. Then I became a tech investor / operator, and I went to a fund called Process, and I focused on the education technology market. After that, I became a 3-times entrepreneur. I've built teams to over 200 people. I've built startups in both the UK and in Hong Kong, and I've been fortunate enough to raise capital from some of the best venture capital funds in all of Europe. Most recently, I actually got recognized by Forbes and got put on the website, which was quite a cool moment for me, but that was for my impact or my contribution to social impact. Now guys, that all sounds okay on paper, right? Or pretty good on paper, I would say. But to be honest, I'm missing part of the story there. And there's a lot that I haven't told you. So When I was growing up, I'm the son of two educators, right? My mum's an art teacher, my dad's a university lecturer. So you can imagine I had education like drummed into me as the most important thing in my life. But despite that, I was one of those kids that went completely down the wrong path at school. I was not fulfilling my potential at all. I was really going down the wrong way, and yeah, I needed help, to be honest, right? I completely flopped my GCSE exams, didn't live up to my potential at all, and this is when actually my mum stepped in and she said something's got to change. She moved my whole area of London to get me into a good school. It wasn't a private school or anything like that, but it was there that I had access to these incredible teachers, and also all the kids around me, they actually wanted to learn, wanted to do well. And then all of a sudden, I started getting A stars, I started getting those 100%, and ultimately got into a great university, and that led me to my job. However, it could have been very different, right? Like for every one of me that was one of the lucky ones, there are thousands and thousands of kids that don't get that opportunity to change school, to change area, right? And my life could have been extremely different. So I actually saw firsthand how the education system in this country is broken, and it doesn't let students fulfill their full potential, and I couldn't unsee that. And that is why I created MyEdSpace. We are trying to build the most engaging and affordable education platform in the country. And what I want is to provide that change of access to these incredible teachers to every single person, regardless of their postcode, their background, or their income. I want to create a new form of education, one that actually works for students today and is modern and is native to how they consume content today. And I also want no compromise on excellence. In our opinion, we have the best of the best teachers in the whole of the UK, and that's how we like to keep it. In terms of stats, we've got pretty big now. We've done over 250,000 hours of live lessons watched. 13,000 families just like you have trusted us with their education. And the best part is it really, really works. We are getting 4 times better grades than the national average, and I'll explain how later on. So with that said, how are we going to achieve that goal that I said at the start? We are going to cover 4 different things. Number 1, the uncomfortable truth about the traditional UK education system. Number 2, our unique teaching approach here at MyEdSpace. How are our students getting those incredible grades and beating the national average that much? Then number 3, I'm going to do a platform demonstration, and I'm going to intro you to the team that are going to help boost your child's grades. And then number 4, I'm going to open it up for a massive Q&A. You can ask any question on your mind. I want all of you, by the end of this webinar, to feel like Sapna. Sapna said she is a happy and satisfied parent. She made the right decision. That is what I want for all of you by the end of today. And to make that even more possible, if you stay to the end, every single person on here is going to get a very special offer just for turning up and listening to me. And then you're also going to get a gift. And I like to say it's worth more than a gift card, probably less than a Lamborghini, somewhere in between. But it is a gift for all of you just for turning up and listening, because I think you're all incredible parents and we want to give back. One thing on that, if you do know any other parents who would benefit from that and also wants that gift, also wants to listen in and would get value from this webinar, can you please copy the link that you're on this YouTube video and share it with your friends, share it with any other parents that you know in the WhatsApp groups and the parenting group chats, right? It really, really helps them. And a fun little fact, right? If you share something of value to someone else, they start associating that value with you. So it looks good on you, it really helps them, and it really helps us grow. We're a mission-driven company, and we really are trying to help as many kids as possible achieve a world-class education. And so it really helps us out, and I would really appreciate it if you could just share it with all your friends, please. I want this session to be completely for you, to be honest, and to be as productive as possible, right? So there are no bad questions. Ask anything in the chat. And either myself, I will try and answer as many as possible, but I also have moderators in the chat and they're here to help me answer your questions. And you can see my moderators because they have a little blue name in the chat. I can actually see George is speaking to you right now, and they've got a little spanner next to their name. So blue name, that is my team. They are here to help and you can rely on their answers. George is saying hi right now. Chat, you should say hi to George. He's here to help you. Okay, guys, are you still with me? Are we ready to start? Just put a plus in the chat if you're still with me. I want this to be an engaged chat, so... chat's actually saying hi to George. I love this, so that's awesome. Okay, guys, awesome. Let's get started then. So what are the 3 major problems that students are facing in schools today? By the way, I'm going to caveat, I'm sure you've heard of these. They're all over the radio, all over the news, in the newspapers, but let's cover them together for completeness. So the schooling system have gone through massive budget cuts and chronic underfunding. To put some stats to this, actually after 14 years of these chronic government cuts, 70% of schools are actually claiming they have less funding in real terms than they did in 2010. Then I'm sure you know this as well, but COVID made the situation so much worse. We really needed the government to step in and prop up the system, but unfortunately, the amount that was actually allocated to schools was less than a third of the sum that was recommended by the Commissioner for Education Recovery in the UK. Right? So we already had this chronic underfunding. COVID made it so much worse, and then we didn't get the stimulus that we needed into the system. What does that mean? We are in a teacher shortage crisis. Those schools that have gone through those chronic cuts, they are underfunded and they need to downsize their staff. Unfortunately, this is most prominent in maths and the sciences. They've seen the worst shortage of teachers as a qualified source. And to put some numbers to this, right, in 2024, 40,000 teachers resigned from their positions. And during this time, actually, the number of students is increasing and increasing. And what does that mean? The ratio is getting worse and worse. And it means that your child is getting less and less individualized attention in the classroom. There is no plan for this, right? This is a recent article by Sky News, and they're saying the Department for Education lacks a coherent plan to address this teacher shortage crisis, right? So what does that mean? Unfortunately, there is a huge amount of stress and anxiety amongst students today. In a sample of over 1,000 young people, 48% of them actually reported that they suffered from some kind of mental health distress. In another poll of 420 of the Association of Teachers and Lecturers, 90% of those members identified testing as the primary source of stress for their students. And then this one on the right by The Guardian, it always really shocks me to read it out, but almost 3 in 10 students in secondary school are actively avoiding going to school altogether because doing so would make them so anxious. And guys, that makes me say, I personally think that the education system is structurally flawed and it's continually failing students. It's continually failing your children. And just put a plus in the chat. Do you agree with this statement? Had you heard of these problems before? Had you seen them in the Sky News or on the TV and the radio? Did you know they were as bad as this, right? Yeah, let me know in the chat. Kamzi's saying, I watched the Sky News. Yeah, exactly. It was all over the news as well. Like, there is no plan in place to address this problem, sadly. And obviously, I don't blame the teachers in the schools, right? It isn't their fault. But you can imagine how there's this really vicious cycle in the school where there are more teachers leaving the profession. The ones that remain are under more and more pressure in the system. And then their job gets worse, and so then more leave. And then you're in this really, really vicious cycle. And ultimately, it's not your fault, but it is your problem, right? And that is exactly what we're trying to address. So how can you actually help your child? What do most people do? I'm sure you've heard of it, but most people, they go out and they try and get external support. They feel like they're not getting enough support in school, so they try and get that external support and they try and go get a private tutor and they hope it will help. But then I'm sure you know the problem there. This can be extortionately expensive. And actually, I just want to play a quick game in the chat. If you've tried private tuition before, just put in the chat how much you were paying per hour. Okay, so how many pounds were you paying per hour if you've tried private tuition before? Inviting Creativity said before, this is why we homeschool. Inviting Creativity, yeah, we've got so many homeschooling parents and families with us now on MyEdSpace, and it's exactly for that reason, right? They feel like they're not getting enough support, so they try and take matters into their own hand. And yeah, we're trying to be the best solution for them as well possible. I'm seeing Lily's £50, Vicky's £75, Kezia's £60, Sherry's 30, Dilshia's 45. I'm seeing the lowest I've seen is 30, Yemisi's 35. Tina, £200. Wow, Tina, that's a lot. Oh, Tiara, sorry, £200. Sabrina, £20 to £40, £40, £60. Paul's at £100 per hour. Eden's at £75 per hour. Sebastian's at 50, 20. I think that's the lowest we've seen, Quake, and Charmaine at 20. Vidi's at 35. And then Preppy, who's a #1 fan, by the way, Preppy. You've been interacting the most in the chat, so you've got the biggest the badge. You're paying £135 per hour. I'm seeing the biggest there is Axel at £300 per hour. Wow, guys, so I think the range went from 20. There were a load of you around the £50 to £70 mark, and then there were a bunch of you around the £100 to £200 mark as well, right? And the top we saw was 300 with Axel. And actually, that lines up very closely with what my team found. See, we went out and we analysed more than 1,000 tutors online, and we broadly found 3 different buckets of tutors. You've got the very, very beginner tutors. They're often charging between £25 to £30 per hour. This most likely is not a qualified teacher. It's most likely another high school student trying to make some extra change. Then you've got the intermediate tutors. They're charging somewhere between 40 to 80 pounds per hour. Maybe they're a qualified teacher, maybe they're not, right? But most likely it's a university student also trying to make some extra cash on the side. And then you've got the experienced professionals, and they're charging anywhere from 100 to 200 pounds per hour, and that lines up with a lot of you in the chat as well. At this price, you would hope they're a qualified teacher, you would hope they've gone through all of that training, right? But I just think all of this is extortionate, to be honest. But don't just take my word from it. This is a screenshot from a popular tuition website. 75 pounds per hour, 64, 62, 85 pounds per hour, 154 pounds per hour, 87, and then the top one on that screen is on the bottom, 185 pounds per hour. And as you can see, a lot of them aren't actually fully qualified teachers. So what does this actually mean for you? Let's say you chose that very basic tutor, right? 25 pounds per hour, and you did 2 lessons a week. That's 50 quid a week. If you were doing 8 lessons in the month, that's 200 quid a month. And if you were doing 80 lessons throughout the academic year, which is what our teachers recommend to cover the curriculum content, you're looking at £2,000 per subject per year. Okay, just let that sink in a little bit. A private tutor could cost you £2,000 per subject per year. Plus, on top of that crazy, crazy price tag, you're still going to have all of the problems that come with it. The logistics are an absolute nightmare, right? First of all, you've got to go out, find the right tutor, you've got to schedule the lessons around their timetable, they might cancel last minute, and then you've got to do the whole thing again, right? It is an absolute nightmare in terms of logistics. Then I say uncertain quality, and what do I mean by that? Often there are far too few reviews online to actually gauge their effectiveness. These tutors often don't put out free lessons or free content so that you can assess their teaching style, right? You don't actually know if that's how your child likes to learn and if that's the right teaching style for them. So I often say uncertainty. Then I say lack of resources. And what do I mean by that? If you think about private tuition, typically it is a one and done situation. The tutor turns up to your house, they teach for an hour, and then they leave. None of those sessions are recorded. You can't rewind it and go back to the part you were struggling with, right? You don't get often any extra study material, and there's a limited review of past lessons. And lastly, I say inadequate preparation. And what do I mean by this? We already identified that a lot of those tutors, they're not actually fully qualified teachers, right? They haven't been through that training that teachers have to go through to impart their knowledge in the right way to students. But even if they are, most of these teachers haven't been ex-examiners, they haven't worked with the big exam boards, and so a lot of their questioning and their teaching time actually lacks a focus on those exam techniques and strategies that help your children go into that exam hall and feel stress-free. And that is why we created MyEdSpace, to solve all of those problems. Preppy is saying, forget about the money, money, money. I'm not going to sing it for you today, but yeah, exactly. At MyEdSpace, we help children reach their full potential. I told you earlier, we're a mission-driven company. This is really what we're trying to do. We're trying to provide a 10 times better quality of education and make it affordable. Tiara is saying, is it for parents? Tiara, you're welcome to stay, whatever your group you're in, but it is mostly designed for your parents, so tell them to come and watch as well. We are trying to build the most engaging and affordable education platform in the whole of the UK. We've spent 3 years doing it now, finding the best of the best teachers in the country, in our opinion, and putting them all in one place and trying to make it the best platform possible for our students. But what do we actually teach? For years 5 all the way up to year 9, we teach maths, science, and English. For years 10 and 11, we teach maths, biology, chemistry, physics, and English. And then in the A-levels, we teach maths, bio, chem, physics, English literature, and further maths now. So we've added extra subjects. But what do our courses actually look like? So, for every subject, twice per week, you will have an engaging, live, and interactive lesson with our superstar teachers. I want to show you in a second on our platform demonstration, right? But it is a live stream just like this. We really focus on the most engaging environment possible for our students, because the more engagement we can drive, the more active they're learning, and ultimately the better efficacy of our product we will have and the better results our students will get. You can see, I won't read every one of these out, but for people like Sama, they are loving the fact that they are live. The live stream allows questions from the students to be answered. Overall, absolutely fantastic, would definitely recommend. Then all of those live lessons are also recorded and stored on our learning platform. And the reason we do that is because we get it, right? One day maybe life gets in the way, maybe you've got football practice or swimming practice or something, right? So all of those lessons are also recorded and stored so you can go back and watch them as many times as you want over and over again. You can see people really love it, that they are recorded. It means that you can catch up in your own time. And Louis is saying it's also recorded so you can go back to it any time you want. Then, for every single one of those lessons, we have a professionally designed set of workbooks, or we call them the workbooks. And what are these, right? It is all of the questions that we are going to go through in the lesson, all of the diagrams there neatly laid out so that our students don't have to frantically try and keep up with the teacher. It is all there for them already. They just have to follow along and focus on the important things, which is the learning and the lesson itself. It makes learning so much easier. You can see people like Rick and Morale, they're saying the comprehensive workbook and intense schedule ensured we covered everything thoroughly, right? So it is there to make learning so much more structured and easy. Then for every lesson, we have a homework, and these are unique to MyEdSpace. Our teachers have, or nearly all of our teachers have been examiners or worked with the big exam boards. So we really focus on exam style questions. And the idea here is that we will give so many questions throughout the academic year that by the time the exams come around, our students will be so comfortable with every type of problem. They really have built that habit of approaching new types of problems so that they go into that exam hall stress-free. I always think this is a little bit amazing, but if you go to our Trustpilot, we actually have hundreds of reviews mentioning homework by children, right? Giving us 5-star for our homework. And that is pretty uncommon, I would say, right? But the reason why is because the homework really works and it allows our students to reinforce that knowledge they've learned in the lessons and practice it. Then, for every one of those homework questions, our teachers have actually produced a video solution walking through that question step by step, right? So I just wish I had this as a student, to be honest, because you've got an absolute expert, a master of their craft, walking you through from the start to the finish of how to pick up every single mark on that question. Medea is asking, do you give homework? Yes, we do, Medea. We do, and the video solutions to all of those homeworks on top. And you can see, I won't read every one of these out, but people love the video solutions. They really help consolidate that knowledge, and you get to watch an absolute expert do it. And then on top of everything I've just mentioned, we pair your child with a personal mentor, and they're available via chat function to ask any question they like on any of the content or any of the questions that they're facing in school, right? So I'll explain it in a little bit, but that's on top of everything I just said. Actually, just before I move on, and guys, by the way, I will show you a platform demonstration in a second, so don't worry, you are in the right place. You will see every one of these elements live, I promise. But just before I move on, I just want to say, I think the best part, this all is great, and we've tried to build the best learning platform possible, but really the best part of MyEdSpace is we have found, in our opinion, the best of the best teachers in each of their subjects and brought them all into one place. And so I just want to check in the chat, have any of you actually heard of any of our teachers before? And if you have, just let me know in the chat who you have heard of. Unaisha, I'll answer that in a second on the platform demo. So ask me again in a minute and I'll come back to it. I'm saying, oh, Batman's heard of LaJoy. Okay. A few of you are saying, no, you haven't heard of the teachers. Okay, interesting. Ilio is saying Neil. Batman's heard of Brooke. Dilshia's heard of Louis. Neil as well. Okay. Matilda's not one of our teachers, but she is one of our helpers. She's on my team, and she's incredible. So I'm glad you know Matilda as well. Neil as well. Brooke, Neil. Okay, awesome. Laura as well. Okay, guys, like it sounds like a lot of you have heard them, but for those of you that haven't, don't worry. I will do the introductions as they're quite a humble bunch. But firstly, a lot of you knew him, but we have Neil Does Maths, Neil Trivedi. He is the head of maths at MyEdSpace, and yeah, Neil is just an incredible mathematician and teacher. He managed to sit his A-levels earlier, and for maths and further maths, he got his A-stars. Then he went on to study mathematics at UCL, where he, of course, got a first-class honours degree. Then he went into the teaching, into the classroom. He's got over 9 years of teaching experience. He gets incredible results, right? But I think the most of you know him and why he's so special. He's become quite famous on social media. He's got over 2.5 million followers now. And I think the reason why is because he can find these really complex mathematical topics and manage to break them down into such easily understandable pieces. He makes people love learning maths again. And yeah, he is just an incredible teacher and the head of maths at MyEdSpace. Then a few of you knew Louis as well. Louis does English, the head of English at MyEdSpace. I think Louis has got one of the craziest academic backgrounds I've ever actually seen. He got his BA from Oxford, then he went on to do his master's degree, and he got one from both Oxford and from Cambridge, because I guess one wasn't good enough. He of course got first classes there, then he went into the classroom. He's got over 9 years of teaching experience, and he is the head of English at MyEdSpace. Then we've got LaJoy, does chemistry. A few of you also said you knew LaJoy. She's the head of chemistry at MyEdSpace, also an incredible academic background, first class master's degree in chemistry from Oxford, and then she went into the classroom, over 10 years of teaching experience, including head of science positions. But I think the really special thing about LaJoy is she has a really infectious, fun way of teaching. She makes students just love learning chemistry, and like her lessons take a completely different approach, and yeah, it's just fun to be in her lessons. Then we have the queen of biology, or Laura does biology. She's the head of biology at MyEdSpace. Also incredible academic background, studying biology at Manchester. Then she went into the classroom, got over 15 years of teaching experience, including head of biology positions. But I think the best thing about Laura actually is that she's got over 10 years of experience working alongside some of the biggest exam boards in the UK. And so what this means is her subject knowledge is just off the charts, right? I often call her a walking mark scheme because she knows how to pick up every single mark in that exam. Last but not least, we have Brooke, does physics. She's the head of physics at MyEdSpace, also an incredible academic background, first class honours degree equivalent from Michigan State. Then she went to do her master's in UCL, where she studied planetary science and managed to get a distinction there. Then went into the classroom, over 6 years of teaching experience. And I think the really cool thing about Brooke is she's got a completely different take on physics. Physics is often one of those subjects that students often struggle with. They think of it as a hard subject, but she manages to break down these problems in a completely different way, and students absolutely love being in her lessons. You should check out the Trustpilots. So guys, what do you think of our teachers? Let me know in the chat what you think of them. As I said, we have spent 3 years finding these superstars, right? And I often say I'm kind of like the Avengers of education, right? We are trying to find the best of the best teachers in each of their subjects and pull them all together. And I just want to say, right, it is so hard to become a teacher at MyEdSpace, right? We've got a pretty grueling interview process. We only select the top 1% of all of our applicants, right? We have had thousands and thousands of people apply, and we've only got 15 total teachers, right? It's really hard. We actually make them even resit their A-level exams when they're interviewing with us, because if they don't get close to 100%, they can't be in MyEdSpace, right? So the standard is so high. I'm seeing Vicky saying they're amazing, Shade saying they're amazing, Max is saying, yeah boy. So Ruth saying they look great. Yeah guys, I think honestly, it's a bit of a crime how teachers are treated in society, right? I grew up with it, I saw it firsthand, right? My mum's an art teacher and society just doesn't rate it as a profession, but I think that is an absolute crime, to be honest. I think these people are absolute superstars and they're incredible at what they do, and they've chosen to give back and teach the next generation, and I think we should shine a massive light on them and show how amazing they are. But I'm biased, so go and read our Trustpilot, right? Take it from there instead. We have got hundreds and thousands of 5-star reviews. But if you want some stats to back it up, 95% of our parents found that MyEdSpace was helpful for their child. This one always makes me quite proud. 83% of parents actually saw a positive attitude improvement in their child, right? So sure, it's education, but it's inside and outside the classroom. That confidence follows everywhere. Over 13,000 families have now trusted us with their education. And as I said, we are rated excellent on Trustpilot. Over 1,700 5-star reviews now. And if you want to see some of the stats to back it up, last year, 50% of our A-level maths students managed to achieve an A or an A star. 40% of our GCSE maths students achieved a grade 8 or 9. And if you compare that to the national average, that was just 9%. So we were over 4 times better. So all this is to say, guys, families just like you absolutely love it. The students love it, and it really, really works. So who is ready to see the MyEdSpace platform? We're actually an award-winning platform. Our most recent award, which was a very nice one, we won Best Online School for 2025, which I love to see. So we have spent a very, very long time, as I said, 3 years developing our platform to make sure that we have the best way to lay out our lessons, to structure the curriculum for the most effective learning possible. So I'm quite proud of it, but if you guys are ready, I'll flick over to my other screen, and then when you guys are ready, let me know. Can you just put a plus if you can see my other screen? Mamta says, congratulations. Thanks, Mamta. Yeah, it's always nice to win an award and have some recognition. We've been really trying to build an amazing platform, so it was pretty cool to see it. Okay, everyone's put in classes. Awesome. So every single student gets their own dedicated learning portal. I'll just click into mine. Now, this is my admin portal, so I've got every single course here, but your child will just see the courses that they've signed up to. But as I said, I've got everything here, but let's just click into one of my maths courses. So this is a Maths Year 13 module, and you can see on this monthly module, it all starts with the timetable, and then we have 8 lessons in the month, and then a monthly assessment at the end, right? We do the monthly assessment just to monitor progress, just to make sure all of the learning that we're actually teaching is being consolidated and that our students are making progress. Cool, I'll click into one of our lessons, and this is the 4-step system that I told you about at the very start. I promised you I would reveal it, so here it is. Every single one of our lessons has 4 key elements. It is the workbook, the live stream, the homework, and then the video solution. And we have found this is the best system possible to boost our students' grades. Now I'll click into each one of these elements. Firstly, the workbook. I'll scroll down and zoom in a little bit, and you can see every single diagram, question that we run through in the lesson is all there for them, professionally designed and neatly in one place for them. And as I said, the reason we do this, right, we want to make learning structured, but also as easy as possible for our students. I know what it's like when you're trying to frantically keep up with the lecturer or the teacher, right? We don't want that at all. So it's all there for them in one nice, neat place. I also think the added benefit of having these professionally designed workbooks is if you follow along in the class and you're taking your notes and following along, then at the end of the year, which is awesome, the students already have a set of really nicely prepared curriculum, revision notes that they can go back to and cover any topic. So it's an added benefit there as well. The next piece is the live lesson itself. This is one of our maths lessons. You can see Neil is the teacher there, so this is Neil Does Maths. And I want to make it clear, it is a live stream just like the one you're in right now. And someone asked me how many students earlier, right? We say the more the merrier. And why do I say that? What we're really focused on is building the most engaging platform possible, because we have seen that the more engaged our students are, the better results that we get. And what we found is the more students that are actually joining our lessons, the more engaged the average student becomes, right? And how do I explain that? We often say it's kind of like going to a football game, right? Let's say you go to a football game, and whether you go to that stadium and it is full or empty, you are watching the same game. But you're going to have such a better experience if that stadium is full and everyone's interacting with you. And that is what it is like to be at a MyEdSpace lesson. We really focus on that engagement. Is a new type of education that is actually modern to children. These kind of live streams are exactly how they consume content today, and we've built it around that. I also want to make sure you all know there are no cameras on, right? Your child will never be on camera. Number one, for safeguarding reasons, but then number two, we also spoke to a bunch of students and they said they felt quite anxious being on camera, right? And so we do it all via chat, and it is interactive. The children can ask any of their questions. The teacher will either interact with them directly, or we will also have moderators in the chat. The Writings, is that your name? No, Neil's got a graphics pad. He is writing along and teaching with a graphics pad. I will click on to the next piece. Then all of those lessons are also recorded and stored, okay? So as I said, you can go back and watch it as many times as you want. Let's just say you were really struggling with integration or differentiation. You can go back and watch it as many times as you want. It's perfect for revision, perfect for those harder topics, but also, right, it allows you to learn in your own pace as well. We've got many different types of students, many different types of learners, right? Some like to learn at their own pace and go back to it. So we also record them and store them. So we give you both options. The next piece is one of our homeworks. This is one I've tried earlier. This is one of our multi-choice for maths, and I've clearly got quite a lot wrong. But as I said, all of these questions are unique to MyEdSpace. You won't find them anywhere else on the internet. Our teachers have made them themselves, right? And as I said, most of our teachers have been examiners or worked with the big exam board, so we really focus on that exam style of questioning. Then, for every single one of those questions, our teachers have recorded themselves walking through that question step by step. And if we compare that to a traditional textbook, right, if you remember, if you can go back to class, right, you would have that question, then you would flick to the back of the book to get the answer, and it would just be a one-line answer. And if you were wrong, you had no idea, did I go wrong at the start or the very end, right? You just had no idea. Whereas here, you've got these expert teachers walking you through step by step, and it's just incredible because even if you got the answer right, you're going to find a more efficient way, or maybe you'll find a more efficient way, right? So it is such an invaluable resource, and as I said, I wish I had this when I was a student. Madiha is saying, reply to my question. Madiha, what question have you asked? So you've got to ask it again. Okay, guys, I will flick over. These are the video solutions. That is the 4-step system that we use to boost students' grades. And I've just flicked back over. But let me know in the chat. Put a plus in the chat. Does this sound like what you're looking for? As I said, we've won a bunch of awards for our learning platform. We're quite proud of it. We're very confident that you will love it. But yeah, put a plus in the chat if this sounds like what you're looking for. Lizzie's putting pluses. Sally's putting pluses. Vinod's saying, did the students get to ask the questions in the class? Yeah, so Vinod, so like just how I'm answering you right now, right? The students get to ask questions and the teacher will interact with them as well. And then we also have moderators. Vinod, I actually saw Reese also messaged you back. So you got an answer from me and my mod. All right, guys, I'm seeing a lot of pluses in the chat, but it gets even better. On top of everything I just said, right? On top of our award-winning learning platform, on top of those superstar teachers, the homeworks, the video solutions, we also pair your child up with a personal mentor. And who are the mentors? These are the best of the best students, we think, from the best universities in the UK that have been handpicked by our teachers, tested to make sure they're up to the MyEdSpace standard, and they are available there for chat-based support. Right? So any question you have whatsoever, or your child has whatsoever, on any of the content that we cover in the lessons, the homework, the video solutions, any question on that, they can ask those questions there to their mentor. They also can ask questions about the schoolwork that they're doing out of school as well, right? So they really are there just for that extra bit of support. I often like to say, MyEdSpace is the gym, and then the mentors are like the personal trainer, right? They are people that have been there, they're relatable, they've got those incredible grades, they can act as a bit of a source of motivation and inspiration as well to your child as well. So, MyEdSpace core product is the incredibly award-winning learning platform, superstar teachers teaching all of the lessons, and then outside of lesson, if you do have any questions, you can go to your mentor as much as you need. Again, I won't read every one of these out, but we've got hundreds of reviews mentioning our mentors, right? They really, really help for that extra bit of support. So guys, we said earlier, right? We know that if you choose that beginner private tutor, you're going to be looking at £2,000 per subject per year. Or you can choose MyEdSpace. And what do you get? Just as a reminder, full access to one subject for the entire 2025-26 academic year, those 2 live lessons per week, unlimited replays to revisit those lessons as many times as you want, the professionally designed workbooks, the unique style maths homework, the video solutions, and then the mentor support over WhatsApp, right? All of that for the entire academic year, we normally charge between £720 to £900. That is already 2 times cheaper. But because you've all turned up live to watch me, and as I said, I think you're all clearly incredible parents because you've turned up for an hour and you're trying to put your child's education first, you will have an opportunity today to get up to 30% off. What does that mean? For the whole academic year for one subject, it would be just $649. And if you work that out on a live lessons basis, that's £6 to £11 per hour of live lesson. Right? Then you get all the homeworks, the video solutions, the mentor support on top. But why stop there? I get to have a massive smile on my face today because I get to introduce the Ultimate Pass bundle. And what is it? It is access to all of your subjects for 1 year group, but at a fraction of the cost. And because it's a bundle, I'll lay it out, everything that's included for you. So full access for the 2025 academic year for all of your subjects that we teach. Plus, we will chuck in our August summer school for all of your subjects. Plus, for those of you that are in your exam years, we're going to add in our Easter revision courses and our cram courses, right? So our boot camps. And then plus that personal WhatsApp mentor that we mentioned earlier. All of that for the whole academic year to take you towards academic success is just $1199, and that is 8 times cheaper. If you work that out on a per hour of live lessons, it's just £1 to £3 per hour. And let's just put that in context a little bit. What is more expensive than 1 hour of teaching on MyEdSpace? If you go down to Tesco and you get the 700ml bottle of the Persil Silk and Wool, that is £4.20. That is going to cost more than 1 hour of teaching on MyEdSpace. For those of you that were in London at the start, if you go and get a Zone 1 to 6 day travel card now, it can go up to 15 quid. That's more expensive than 3 hours of learning on MyEdSpace. I always think this one's a bit of an undershoot, right? But if you go to an average mid-tier restaurant, maybe you're spending between 50 to 100 quid. That is more expensive than 15 hours of teaching on MyEdSpace. And so what I'm trying to say is, MyEdSpace is cheaper than your other daily essentials, and I really think it is time that we make education part of the daily essentials for your child. But I get it. I'm just a guy on the internet with some flashy lights behind me. And so to protect you from any risk whatsoever, every single person on this webinar is going to get a full 14-day refund guarantee. That should make it absolutely zero risk for you today. Okay? We do this is because we are so confident in our product. We think you will love it. But if you don't, for whatever reason, you have a 14-day full refund guarantee from the start of the course. And yeah, the only question we will ask you is, why didn't you like it? Just so we can try and improve it for parents in the future, right? So it should be absolutely no risk for you today. Also, to make it more accessible, I saw a couple of you asking, can we split it up a little bit, right? To make it more accessible, today we can split the price into 4 equal installments. So what does that mean for you today? Only £300 down locks in that incredible discounted price, right? So just trying to help out a little bit and make it more accessible. I do just need to say, a few of you are already asking, Santosh is asking, is it only valid today? Santosh, it is a first come, first serve, limited time offer. We already know the prices are going to increase, we can guarantee it, right? So your price now is 1199. We have already said we will bump the prices to 1399. And then we will be bumping to 1599. So you are saving £400 by acting today. It is first come, first serve. And just for context, when we were doing this last year, we actually bumped the price every single week, right? Once we hit the student numbers, okay? So it's first come, first serve. Arav saying, are there classes in the summer holidays? Arav, we've got summer school for you in the summer holidays. So yeah, starts in mid-August, 2 lessons a week per subject as well. We do the summer school as like a bit of a bridging the gap, right? What we really saw is that a lot of students, they go throughout the whole academic year, and then there's a bit of a gap, and then they restart in September and they're a bit lost. So we built the summer school in just for you guys. So if you want to take advantage of this amazing offer while we've got it, what you need to do is scan a QR code that I'm putting up on screen right now, and it's going to take you to your own dedicated checkout page for those of you on this webinar. So Allo, how do I join? You scan the QR code right below me, right? I think it's below me. It will pop up into your own dedicated checkout page. If you're already on your phone, there is a link in the description of this YouTube video, and my team have put it into the chat as well, okay? That is going to take you through to your own dedicated checkout page, which I will show you right now by switching over. Cool, so you should be all seeing this page right now. Then what you do is you put in your email, and then I say, how many children am I signing up? I've got 1 child, so I'll click 1. Then I'll click continue. Fuluki is saying, is there a discount for 2 children? Fuluki, I'll come back to you in a second. I think we just had our first scan going through. Oh, loads of scans I'm just seeing going through the system now. That's awesome, guys. Keep them coming. Then I'm going to say, what year group is my child in? My child, I'm going to select on the drop down, is in year 10. And you can see it's already automatically selected the ultimate pass for you with that crazy discount. But if you do just want 1 subject, you just unclick that big green button and you click maths or biology. But I really recommend you click that green button, keep it there, select the ultimate pass while the deal's available. Then I click continue. Now I've got an option. Do I pay up front and I can save an extra 5%? Or do I choose that installment plan and break it up? It's £300 today. And there are no hidden fees, and you've all got a 14-day money back guarantee. Okay, we are not in the business of taking money from anyone that doesn't get value from our service. That is like how you maintain an incredible trust pilot like we've got, right? What you see is what you get. No hidden fees, no yeah, it's all there for you guys. 14-day money back guarantee. Then I click checkout. And by the way, guys, a lot of you are moving through our system right now. I can see it. So it might be running a little bit slowly, but just bear with it, right? Then what you need to do there is there will be a set of card details. You put in your card details. I'm not going to do mine on screen because that would be a big mistake, right? But you just put in your card details, you fill in an onboarding form, and it is as easy as that. And then you will be a MyEdSpace parent and you will be part of the community. Cool. I will flick back over. Can you guys see my screen again? Unaisha, yes, you can. You'll find it on the checkout. So scan the QR code, Unaisha, go through it, and then you'll be able to see it. Guys, don't just hear it from me. As I said, please go and check out our Trustpilot. We have over 1,700 reviews. We're 5-star, right? We're 4.8 out of 5. We're rated excellent, okay? Please go and check it out, right? Don't just hear it from me. I do just want to highlight one Trustpilot review that I really love. It's from Beth, and she says, I learnt more in 3 hours than I did in 3 years. I did the biology and physics GCSE cram courses, and honestly, I can't say more positive things. Laura and Brooke honestly made more sense in 3 hours than my teachers did in 3 years. Honestly, have given me so much confidence for my exams, a must-have for any Year 11s who need a final boost. All right, so I really think this speaks to the quality of our teachers, that students are learning more in 3 hours on MyEdSpace than 3 years in school. Okay, that is how effective our teaching is. So it is Q&A time. Over to you guys now, right? As many questions as you want. I will stay here and try and answer as many as possible, right? So let me know any questions. Yogesh says, what happens if the child continue not to continue? So Yogesh, as I said, right, we're giving every single person on this call a 14-day refund guarantee, right? Full money back guarantee. So you can go out, check the classes out for 2 weeks straight, right? And see if it's for you or not, and then make your decision. What I would say there is we are very, very confident you will love it and that your child will love it. And that's why we do that as well, right? But yeah, my advice there is try it, see for yourself, but pretty sure you'll love it. Nikembo is saying, when is the last day of this offer, please? It is first come, first serve. So we don't actually do it based on days. It's based on student numbers. For context, last year when we were doing this and we said the prices were going to go up, prices went up every single week. We've already chosen our next 2 prices. So it really is first come, first serve. I recommend taking advantage of the offer as quickly as possible. I see someone else just scanned. That is awesome, guys. Keep those scans coming. Tiara, so how many days a week? So Tiara, it depends on what you're choosing, right? But per subject, 2 lessons per week, per subject. Rakeb saying, would you guys train a year 9 child for their GCSEs? Rakeb, we have got like one of the greatest stories ever, actually. So we were actually announced on the BBC, like in an article, because we taught the youngest child in all of the UK to do A-level maths, right? So he was 11 years old and he sat A-level maths with us. And then, yeah, he managed to get an A-star, obviously, and it made it to the BBC. So yeah, MyEdSpace is ability-based, and that goes both ways, right? So if you've got a superstar on their hands that wants to jump up ahead, they can go as far as our courses allow, right? But then also, maybe they haven't had the best support in school and they need to catch up and they want to go down a little bit and rebuild those fundamental concepts up so that they start catching back up in school. We also do that. So it's ability-based, right? We typically say for our parents to sign up to the course of the year group that they are in, and then we monitor it, and if they are struggling or if they're falling behind a little bit, we can always bump them up or down. I think that just said 9 scanned, guys. That's amazing. Keep it coming, please, guys. Keep scanning. The QR code is below me. Take out your phone, scan that QR code, or click the link in the description. Shu saying, I missed the beginning of this. No, this is so we're doing an Ultimate Pass bundle, which is all of the next academic year, plus summer school, plus our Easter revision courses, and you get the mentor on top. Michelle says, thanks, can I enroll my child just for the summer holiday lessons? Michelle, you can, right? But like, as I said, our prices are going to go up. So what I would say is take advantage of the deal now. You get the summer offer, right? And then you're already enrolled and you've got these discounted prices. Because if you go just as a summer school, by the time of the summer school, our prices will have already jumped up. So up to you, Michelle. I'm telling you honestly. So there you go. Nyasha, it's already in our system, right? So you saw it was multiple choice like that. So yeah. How many lessons are there in total? Man, like it depends on what year group you're in, but like 2 lessons per week per subject up until the end of the exams from September, right? So our courses start in September. They go the whole way to May or June, depending on what year group you're in, right? So we have a huge amount of lessons. But let me know the year group you're in. We can try and sum it up for you. But yeah, roughly, right, it's like 72 hours of learning of live lessons per subject. What if we don't want the whole bundle? Yogesh, so you can just choose one subject if you want as well, Yogesh. No worries at all. I would recommend the bundle, right? Because it is crazy, crazy discount, right? So, but up to you completely. I think you should take advantage of us doing all the work, finding these incredible teachers and putting them all together. But if you do want just one subject, that's completely fine. Quake, so we do monthly assessments as well, right? So you saw that we start off with the timetable, then we have our lessons, and then we have a monthly assessment as well, and we get those scores. Akua saying plus. Akua, what are you saying plus to? Let me know. Shivada says, what time does this end? It ends in about 2 minutes, so you can ask as many questions as you want in that time. So go, go, go. Arav, so we do have monthly pricing on our website, but it is then full priced. It won't be the discounted price that I'm offering you today. So yeah, if I was you, Arav, what I would recommend is choosing that installment piece, splitting the payment up into 4 equal installments, and then you get the best deal that we can possibly offer. We are planning that my daughter will give 13. That's awesome. You're going to join our year 13 course, Mediha? That's awesome. I can't wait to start helping your daughter improve their grades. Joe saying, do they mark homework? So Joe, I don't know if you saw on the homeworks that we showed, like for instance in our maths, it's multiple choice, so you automatically get that marking, and then the video solutions are there for you to go and check where you went wrong or if there's a better way to do it. Did I get an A star in maths? Yes, I did. Yeah, I did, Kamsi. Does it include exams for home ed students? So Sally, we don't actually, we're not an exam center, right? So your child can learn with us because we cover the full curriculum. So they can learn with us throughout the year, but then you would need to register for your exams separately. It's a pretty easy process to do, right? Like I actually had to do that for further maths because my school never taught further maths. So yeah, but that's how you would do it, right? So you would learn with MyEdSpace throughout the year, cover all the content, and then when it comes to exam time, you register with a separate exam center. Niklaus, no, not yet. We don't teach computer science, but maybe watch this space. And yeah, we've been adding a lot of subjects, as you can see, so watch this space. Sibling offer, Raise, thank you. Sorry, someone asked about sibling offer and I didn't say. So what I've done in that checkout for you is I've automatically applied for your second child or your third child 20% off on top of that second child's course, right? So I get it, like how hard it must be to afford education for one child, let alone for 2 or 3, etc., right? So we've automatically applied a 20% discount on top, right? So thank you, Raise. I was just giving that discount without even telling people we were doing it, so yeah. Rosaline says, I've just paid a deposit. Can I get this package? Yeah, of course, Rosaline. Just speak to our team, and if you should already get this then. But yeah, Rosaline, just speak to our team and we'll sort it out, don't worry. What exam board are you guys using? So it depends. Kezia, let me know what year group you're in, because it depends on the year group, right? If you're talking about A-levels or for GCSE. Kamzi says, how did you get an A star in maths? Kamzi, I wish I had MyEdSpace, to be honest, right? It would have been a lot better. So yeah, Sally says, okay, thanks. No worries, Sally. So family X says, do some lessons overlap? What would happen then, right? So what we've done, family, is within the year group, they won't overlap, okay? So yeah, like you should be fine within one year group. Do you guys do AQA for year 11? Yeah, we do. Yeah, but then also our mathematics course is generic, right, across exam boards. And then for GCSE, yeah, it's AQA. Or predominantly, right? There is a lot of overlap in exam boards, right? But we say it's typically designed for AQA students. What date does the summer school start in? Oh, Joe, yeah, it's 11th of August is when it starts. I'm really interested, but can only pay next Wednesday. Erica, like, hopefully it's still available for you then, right? But as I said, just being honest, it's a limited time, first come, first serve basis, right? So yeah, I would try and do it as quickly as possible. Can you please answer my previous question? Yogesh, what did you ask? I didn't see your previous question, sorry. Let me know. Past papers, do you go through it? Shoo, so what we actually do is our teachers have designed their own papers, right? So that, yeah, you've got all your past papers that you can freely access online, but then if you join MyEdSpace, you've also got your unique set of questions that our teachers have produced. And when we ramp up to the exam time, we do a huge amount of revision and questions. Ruth, the summer school isn't free, but if you joined here today, you get it one course for free. So yeah, you do. But I'll show you that right at the very end, as I promised. So don't worry, Ruth. Yogesh says, do we enter into a contract after 14 days? What do you mean after 14 days, Yogesh? So what you will do, you pay upfront, right? And you get to either choose a 5% discount if I pay all in one go, or do I pay into installments, right? And that is a contract, but then you've got a 14-day money-back guarantee on that from the start of the main course, right? So that's how it works. My son is on camp from the 10th of August for 6 days. Can we still catch up after the summer school? Yeah, exactly, inviting creativity. Look, the summer school is recorded as well, so don't get, like, you can catch up as many times as you want and watch it in your own time as well. But what I would say is the summer school is like a mini taster course into MyEdSpace, right? So we've designed it in a way that it bridges the gap, right? For instance, going from GCSE to A-level, it is a really, really big gap. And what we found is that students need a little bit of a confidence booster over the summer, right? To help them go into September feeling good. And so it's a mini course, right? That is designed to give you a bit of a taster into MyEdSpace. Shorty, you couldn't have. Peters, you couldn't have. So this is the best deal we can possibly offer. Do you have access to all subjects in summer school? So Joe, if you choose the ultimate pass, you will get access to all subjects in the summer school as well. Yeah. Akua says she can't believe the price is for all subjects. Yeah, it is for all of the subjects that we teach for the academic year. Joan says the payment system is not working. Joan, I'm sorry, there's so many of you trying to go through the system right now that it might be a little bit slow. If you have, like, maybe try refresh it, but if you have any problems whatsoever, just message my team and they will be able to help you, okay? There is a number for my team in the link of the YouTube description, right? And you could just WhatsApp them and say, hey, I was at Sean's webinar. I want to take advantage of this amazing deal. Can you please help me out? And they will help you out, Joan. So yeah, I hope that helps, Joan. And sorry, it's we've got so many people trying to go through the system right now. Yeah, short D Peters, you're getting 1199. Yeah, exactly. That's for the ultimate pass price. But if you want to split it into installments, it's just 300 today. Okay, guys, we're coming up to time, so I'm going to say it one more time. If you want to take advantage of this deal, I want to help as many of your children as possible, right? We want to see as many of you join MyEdSpace, join the community, and start boosting their grades, their confidence, right? So I'm going to say scan the QR code below me, or click the link in the description of this YouTube video. That is going to take you over to a separate checkout page just like this. I'll click over now. Then I'm going to fill in my email. By the way, guys, that's a fake email, don't worry. Then I'm going to say, how many children do I have, right? I've got one child, let's just say. I click continue. Yeah, I can see a lot of you going through the system now, so it is slowing down a lot. Sorry, guys. But that just shows you, yeah, there's a lot of you in the system right now. That's going to take you through to a separate page. I choose my year group, and then I choose also, maybe I'll just click refresh on this one. I'll choose my year group, I choose the ultimate pass, and then I click checkout. Arav says, how long left? Arav, we're at time. So if you have one last question just for you, I'll answer it. But if not, I will say thank you so much, guys, for listening to me. I hope it was helpful as well, right? Like, I really do hope it was helpful because, as I said, we are trying to do a good thing. We're a mission-driven company. We are trying to make a world-class education truly accessible. And I want to help as many students as possible. I think you guys are incredible parents because you've all turned up to listen to me. You're putting your child's education first, just even by being here, which I think is amazing. I'll flick back over to my other slide just so you can see it. But I think you're all doing an incredible thing, right? So I want to say thank you for turning up and listening to me. Hope it was helpful, and I will speak to you all again soon. Alo says, I signed up all 3 kids. They watch with me and actually seem excited for once. Alo, thank you so much, number one. Welcome to all of your children, right? They are now part of MyEdSpace. You are now a MyEdSpace mum, right, as well, which is incredible. So welcome to the community. I think you've done an incredible choice today. And you're like Sapna right at the very start, which is quite fitting to end on. I think you've made the right choice. Okay, guys, thank you so much, guys. I really enjoyed speaking to you all. I'll speak to you all again soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.